Hey, it's us.
It's
Fuck.
us.
Had a whole tirade going on, and I forgot we didn't even start yet.
Well, go ahead. Give the tirade to the people.
Thomas was excited.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited, Spider, because apparently since everybody missed it, I talked about how I was job hunting in the last episode. So I applied recently at this local supermarket called Giant Eagle, which is like mostly on the West Coast, or not West Coast, East Coastern thing there.
Yes.
It's in like a good few states, and it's a decent store. They usually have good deals going on there. But the last two times I tried to apply there, they've been fucking mad of a job. Like recently, I applied just last Friday, and you know, when I did, they kept your worker ID on file in case you want to apply again. So I applied again at a store closer to home for me, and they told me to do something called a video interview. I recorded myself talking about my skill sets for the job. I applied for the hourly team member position, which is like now hiring kind of thing for a wide variety of positions. And I was going to do that yesterday, but they sent me an email the night before yesterday that they were going to look for other candidates for the position. And I'm like, all right, what am I going to find there? But what they did that pissed me off was that they sent an email the next day saying they're reminding me to do the fucking interview then. And I'm like, you seriously, you literally just told me the night before that I'm not going to get the job. And then you give me an email the next day telling me to still do the video interview. Like, what? What the fuck, man?
Sounds like they communicate very well. They're good communicators on their skill
Clearly.
sets.
Yes.
Fuck them, dude. I mean, that's just the corporate environment. That's the way that things go. Like, if a mistake like that got made at the top level of their company, then they would fucking go batshit. But if they badger you with emails and are inconsiderate of your situation, then oh well. I mean, it's sounds to me like the dumbest shit ever, including like, what's the point of putting in a fucking resume and making a file and all this shit if they're going to ask you to cut a video promo for yourself? Well, come on down. There's Thomas for everyone. Thomas can do this. Does your Thomas do that? Look at me on video. Like, what fucking.
Yeah.
How does that qualify you to work at a fucking grocery store for how good
Yeah.
you can cut a video?
You're like
They
a
are-
clanging cymbal monkey for them. Just like, dude, dance for me.
Dance, monkey, dance. Yeah, they have a weird way of hiring. I think I may have talked about it on one of the past streams when we were still doing on your channel, Chad,
Yeah.
about like the open hiring event that I had to go to a few years back.
Yeah.
So, to recap, the first time I applied at Giant Eagle was back in 2019. I was like already 2 years out of employment, losing my other job, and well, not losing it. I just sort of quit from there because I didn't really vibe well with it. But I was 2 years out of work, and I saw something on Indeed for an open hiring event that was like a new store opening farther out in city name withheld because I don't want to dox the place.
Redacted.
Give us the details, damn it.
Well, they held it at a place called the Residence Inn, which is like this hotel kind of area,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like 20 different people there who were applying for that store as well. And it was just some of the most awkward shit I ever been a part of, man. They had us like act out certain scenes of like how to interact in the store. Like they had us be the people working in the store, and then the person interviewing us was the customer and whatnot. You know, that whole spiel. And
Role play. You got to role play at an interview?
Did
Yeah.
they make you recite
Well,
the
what
whole
was it?
fucking like
It was an open
Walmart
hiring
song
event.
style
It
shit?
wasn't-
Oh, God.
jeez.
We
it was
are
like-
Walmart.
Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. But what I was going for there was a stock job because I'm more comfortable with like the backroom stocking. I cannot do customer service for the fucking life of me, man. I already tried that shit. I am not good at it. I never want to do it again. I'm
Not
more-
your cup of tea,
I'm more-
evidently.
Yeah. I'm more for the backroom stocking, like keeping shit on the shelves tidy, making sure everything's all organized and such. That's where I excel best at. And I wanted that the first time around, but after the event was over, they told me they didn't have any jobs like that, so they stuck me in, guess where? The seafood section. They had me to be a seafood clerk. I'm like, all right, I don't really have much experience for there, but I was already out of a job for this long, so I might as well just fucking take it. And I trained at one store for 2 weeks, and then they had me work at the new store after I learned how to work the seafood clerk stuff. And when I actually worked at the new store, there was nobody there to help me. There was like nobody showing me shit. And when I did do shit that I was supposed to do there, like cutting stuff up and like making the displays all nice and such, there's just nothing going on. There was hardly anybody coming by to buy seafood. I was more for the meat section than anything else because there was more shit going on over there than where I was at. And after a month, they told me that I wasn't fit enough to work in this position. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? You get nobody instructing me on where the fuck I'm at. And you tell me I'm unfit to work here?
That's the worst thing, dude. That's the worst. Of all jobs that I've had, the worst part of the whole situation is being expected to do everything perfect with no training. And I'm just like, God damn, like, dude, if I was a savant, you'd need to pay me at least $20 an hour to do this. If I just came in here and was the most badass, unfallible human being that just knew everything about your fucking company, don't you think I would be somewhere else than, like, I don't know, working at the register at a goddamn gas station? Yeah. Shorty, you're going to have to go lay down, dude. Go. Go.
Well, recently I tried, I was told that I could work at this local weed dispensary that's down a couple streets that way there.
Dude,
yeah.
Weed.
Yeah, it's like they opened a weed dispensary down a couple streets where I'm at. And because I'm helping my dad out with a certain project involving weed. I'm helping him trim out the plants and whatnot. And, I was just bullshitting with him on Saturday. It was like 6 hours to trim down one plant.
God
Mostly
damn.
we were just bullshitting around and stuff.
That shit's tedious, though.
Just listening to... Yeah, but, honestly, it was more fun than all the retail jobs I've had so far, so I'm just like, fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
And
fuck retail and
it hit
customer
me
service.
Yeah, it hit me recently during that time, because my mom has talked to me before about, like, what kind of jobs I want, and I'm just like, after doing that, I'm just thinking... I don't really want to do any of these jobs here. What I really want to do is just like help the people around me, just like do jobs for them and just like get some sort of cut out of it, and then hopefully get my own shit going. That's what I want to do, like work for myself and for other people, like people around me that I actually want to see succeed.
Right.
Part of why I'm here as well.
Yeah. Well, given the environment that we have today, it's also a great opportunity, but it's another thing being that it's fucking, tough, difficult.
Yeah.
It's very, very luck based. You got to be at the right place at the right time and prepared to be there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I found myself just kind of like, I really just want a simple life, dude. Like, I don't even want like some kind of fucking crazy amount of money or anything like that. I like to wrestle. I like to play my music. I like to do the YouTube thing. And like, other than that, I just want to chill, man. I just want a chill ass, peaceful existence with no fucking bullshit. And it seems like years ago that was pretty easy to do. But now that's the fucking dream. The dream is no longer fucking designer clothes and a fucking sports car and a mansion. It's like, can I just fucking chill? Can like I do some shit and like not have to fucking worry about every goddamn thing in the world,
I want to grill, goddammit.
Yeah. Dude, like the other day I made a social media post, and like usually I do pretty well, like people respond pretty well and I can start up a conversation. But I said, can we please just not do World War III right now?
Please.
And like nobody seemed to take that with any merit. Like nobody cared, nobody paid any attention to it. And it's like times like these, like the ones that we're going through right now, mirror shit that was going on like right before World War II. Like,
oh yeah,
just
on
yesterday,
a much heavier scale.
Yeah, just yesterday or the day before, North Korea shot a missile over Japan. All the while, you've got the shit going on in Europe. Like, Like, can we just not fucking do that shit? As if there's not enough shit going on right now.
I just want to have 1 year where I don't have existential dread about being dead in a couple of months.
Yeah. But you know, and then you've got people, you know, like in Thomas's situation, just searching for some kind of gainful employment in, I don't know, the richest fucking country in the world, with people who are so wealthy that for generations to come, their families will never have to fucking worry about anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, can we just chill? Like, it is possible. Why the fuck does it need to be like all fucking hoarded up with wealth in one fucking person's bank account? That shit's crazy to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't really know how
wild
to answer that.
times.
You know, I'm still like, I'm going through a master's degree program right now. I'm almost done with it. But even at the end of that, I'm like, what kind of fucking job am I going to get?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, am I going to be able to do something that's cool, or am I going to have to go back to the situation where I'm slamming my head against the fucking wall to make $15 an hour, maybe?
Place your bets in the chat now.
Dude, even when I got, like, I'm an anomaly in the sense where I actually got the job that I went to college for fucking years. And then I ended up getting that job, and I was like, oh, I fucking despise this. I
Yeah.
really wanted to be a game developer. Then I worked in the games industry, and then I just wanted to leave. It was such, I don't know, it was awful.
Fred says in the comments, Chad communist confirmed.
Look, man, I'm not even talking about communism. I'm talking about, you know, just having the situation like look. When I grew up, I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. I was relatively young, probably younger than that, like 4 or 5 years old. Like, I have 4 aunts or 3 aunts, and all of them had jobs at fucking like sewing factories and just manufacturers and shit in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to go get a job at a factory or something like that in America, no problem. Not only that, because of unionization and shit, like, you were going to get good benefits. The pay was going to be, you know, you had thousands and hundreds of thousands of people backing you on what you should get paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Bill Clinton, during his administration with the Fair Trade Act and shit like that, he was just like, nope, we can import all this shit. Fuck it. And they all lost their jobs. Like, there are abandoned factories all over the place in America just because it would be stupid as shit for you to try to make products in America unless you want them to be super expensive.
Mm.
And it really fucked a lot of shit up. Like, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm some kind of like super knowledgeable person about the economy or things like that, but it doesn't take a fucking genius to see, hey, my family had a bunch of jobs. Now they don't have jobs and those factories don't exist anymore. And everything is super cheap, right?
Mm.
It was for a while. And then it's just fucking not. Yeah. But it's become
Joe
really
Biden,
difficult.
I did that.
It's become difficult because the question hangs in the air of like, what the fuck are people supposed to do if we live in a capitalist society where you have to make money to survive, and getting out there and getting your own money is the way that it is, yet there are no jobs and there's no money. So what the fuck? Like, how is that supposed to work? You got to have both.
That's a good point right there in the chat there. America, a good idea that's gotten out of hand.
I agree with that.
But it's also like, like back in the day, it was like, oh fuck, I lost my factory job. What now? But I'm thinking about it nowadays as well with the, what do you call it? Automatization.
Yeah, automation. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that word. Of basically everything nowadays, like almost everything you can imagine is being done by robots to a reasonable degree. Like, it's being done pretty well.
which is cool
So
as shit.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are we going to do when everything gets that worded and there's no real jobs for us left to do? What do we do then? Do we just like sit on our asses?
Right. Yeah. I
Like
mean,
like a kind of Wall-E future.
Yeah.
and it don't even have to be like that, dude. Because just think of the people
Mm.
who, like philanthropists, and we could focus on things like I don't know, ending world hunger, like fucking working on diseases, like there's things
Yeah.
that people can still do en masse, like
Oh,
make
absolutely.
content, make art, just
Absolutely. But even that, like look at the AI art, for example,
and that's
nowadays.
fine, dude.
Like there's there's still some jobs to be had, obviously. But it's like, with all these robots doing all these jobs and all this AI and whatnot, I, I don't know. Everything just kind of seems to veer towards, if you don't know any programming, you are going to be fucked type shit.
Yeah,
Like you would need, like, the only jobs there would be like, oh, keeping these robots in check and like fucking keep writing this AI shit, and that requires a reasonable level of intelligence that a lot of people might not have. They might not understand how that shit works. So it's like, what do we do at that point? I don't know.
I think that there's a very strong bond that we have with like each other.
Yeah,
People want handmade, handcrafted shit. They want a connection
yeah.
with someone else, and so I don't think that will ever. You see what happened with that
Oh, there's a
fucking
creative.
with that rapper that got signed, who was like an AI rapper.
No.
So there's, let me look it up here. There was a AI rapper that got signed, and people were just flipping out.
But yeah, I do agree with you in the sense there's like, oh, we can just sit back and do all the creative shit and like the find out shit for diseases and whatnot.
Let's see.
Fred and chat. I'm dummy stupid when it comes to computers. I don't even own one.
Yeah, so there's that rapper,
Okay.
and so he got signed by
Hmm.
who's it say? Yeah, FN Mecca was the name of this motherfucker.
Hmm.
Capitol Records signed that AI rapper, and there was just a huge backlash over it. So pretty much people were just like, "Fuck this," because like with music, it's like a lot of it, especially if there are lyrics involved, it's about like some kind of
Personal
connection to the
connection.
meaning and like a shared experience or some kind of like
Yeah.
level of understanding going into it. So
Yeah.
people don't want that shit, dude. That's
Hmm.
not
No,
that's
that's
that's not
that's
what's
very
going to
true.
work in that medium.
That's very true. There
For
was
like techno music, maybe like trance techno, like
mm,
fucking different kinds of like trap remixes and stuff like that. It may go to the
mm,
wayside, and you may find that just a bunch of AIs making that shit. But when it comes to like real connection between people,
mm-hmm.
it'll be like even if one of them passes for a while, as soon as the news breaks that it's not a real person, people will be mad as a motherfucker.
Yeah. No,
Nubus Joy
100%.
says, all I know is it said the N word and people went crazy. Also, Fred
Yes.
asks,
It's a robot. Who
also
cares?
Fred asks how your trip to Britain was. Do you know?
Yeah, let's hear about your trip over the pond.
I
It
saw a
was
few
really fun.
pictures of guys pointing guns at you. What the hell is that
Yeah.
about?
Those were BB guns, don't worry.
Okay.
No, I had a great
About to say, I
time.
thought Britain had strict gun laws.
Yeah, but you can still get them, but it's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great fun. I stayed there for 5 days. On the fourth day, we actually went to Dublin for an analog studio that we rented out for like 10 hours, and we recorded a bunch of shit there.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and I basically just, I don't know, I sought an excuse to party with homies, and I partied really hard, a little too hard.
It be that way sometimes.
Yeah, No, but yeah, it was great fun. It was very. I was shocked at how similar Britain looks to Netherlands.
Oh,
Like Netherlands is very like it's flatlands. This whole country is about as flat as your mama's titties. Type shit.
Not a single mountain anywhere.
Not a our biggest mountain is a hill that's about 1,000 feet,
Jeez.
and that's it. Um,
Fred says he
but
knows of
it's
3 separate gun shops in his area.
oh, but it's like it's all flatlands, like farmlands type shit. And Britain is the same way, but it's a lot more hilly. The area that we drove through, it's I'm not gonna drop specific city names, but
Of course.
lower left part of the country. It was very, very beautiful how just mountainy it all looked.
Yeah.
At least in comparison to my fucking country.
yeah,
It was
it's
just
like
very reminiscent.
totally mountainous around here. Like,
Oh yeah.
way, way mountainous. But in comparison to the shit that you would see in the West Coast, it's nothing. Like the Rocky
Okay.
Mountains and shit like that.
Mm.
Dude, I know that there are a lot of soccer hooligans in fucking England and shit.
Oh yeah.
You know, and isn't it soccer season right now? Isn't it football
Yes.
season? Were people
Yes, it
raising
is.
hell out there?
I was actually on my way back in the train. It was just completely filled to the brim with soccer, football, fucking dudes, and it was
Did any of them punch you
the
in the
most
face?
painful experience. Huh?
Did any of them punch you in the face?
No, but a lot of
Then there
them
weren't real football
screamed
fans.
really loud and said some very uncouth things.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Were they
Of
singing
course.
Some of them
their
also vomited in the trash can.
Were they singing their soccer songs? Just whoa, 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 whoa.
Ole, ole, ole.
Were they going, lads, 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 lads?
Basically.
Football, Chad. It's not soccer. I am American.
Nobody
Yeah.
fucking cares.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Sports ball. Is that cool?
Yeah, sports ball.
Yeah.
That's
You know
that's
what?
not nominal.
I'll give American football a pass because American football compared to European football, American football is hardcore as shit. Like you will just see people fucking ramming into each other and fucking breaking every bone in their body. And soccer is like, get me a hospital.
I
Yeah,
played
just
football
flick
for a
somebody's
long
ear and
time.
they're, like doing the crossed arms shit.
I
Oh,
played
yeah,
football
like-
from like 7 to like 19, 18.
Mm.
Did a lot of that footballing. And I only weighed like 145 pounds, 165 pounds at the top. So, yeah, I was much smaller then.
Well, since
Must've
I'm a
gotten
fucking
obliterated.
giant and I was in school, all the kids were like, dude, you should do even football. I'm like, nah, I don't really care for football. I don't care for sports that much.
Yeah,
Oh, the amount of
almost-
times people have suggested I do basketball is insulting.
because you're tall.
Yeah.
I'm not
Don't they
even
know
good at
white man
basketball.
can't jump?
Never fucking played it.
Yeah, I played basketball as well, but not for nearly as long. And I was terrible at it. It's a lot of fun, but I suck. I am terrible at basketball. I was okay at football. I was never the greatest at it either. But
Yeah.
what the fuck else was there supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, I'm bored. What do we do? Kick a ball.
Dude, I
Throw a
made the
ball.
challenge, and actually, Fred was the one who fucked me up the most on the challenge. I put on the challenge that I would do a push up for every donation, no matter what the
Oh,
size
yeah, I
of it
was there
was.
for that one.
I would do 5 push ups. So I ended up doing
So you
210.
just did 5 cents.
I
That
ended
was
up,
their your second Five Nights at Freddy's stream.
yeah, I ended up doing 210 push ups by the end of the night. So I'm
Which, by the
still
way-
sore, dude. I'm still fucked up.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
Jeez.
Chad, I've been recording those streams because I've been prepping a compilation for that as well.
Oh, God. Yeah,
I've been
Nikki.
keeping in mind to record those.
Nikki is getting fucked up by Five Nights at Freddy's, man.
Yeah. Well, I gave that one strategy that she should try out, which is like check Cove, check lights, check Freddy, check lights. Apparently, there's a thing in the game where if you look at Freddy, he doesn't really move much from the stage. And when he does, you have to just like look for beady white eyes in the distance, and then when he gets to your doors, and you just have to close it when he's laughing. Basically, there's two ways to do that. There's like, if you hear him laughing, like, or if you see him like by the right door window, he's always by the right door window.
Yeah.
And you basically have to close that until you hear the laughing stop, and then open your door back up so you don't waste a whole lot of power.
Dude, I know for that game to have been made, somebody had to have like tripped acid in a Chuck E. Cheese or something. You know?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the origin of that
came up
game.
with it. Cause like fucking, he was just making Christian ass games, like actual Christian games.
Really?
And then all of a sudden, he just makes a fucking horror game about Chuck E. Cheese characters murdering children.
Well, no.
It's like, what?
The thing about that is, he made a game called Sit and Survive, and people played that, and they thought the character in the game looked like a creepy ass animatronic, and that's basically where he got the ball rolling for that idea.
Well, it does look like a creepy ass little animatronic. Because they are creepy ass animatronics.
I think I said it before on this podcast, but I don't know. But I really like, as memey as Five Nights at Freddy's is, because it's kind of cringy at times.
Yeah.
The way that it's
That's a lot of games, though.
Yeah, but like the way that it's made mechanically, and just like, not the story subject itself, but the way that the story is written, is just very fucking, very, very well done, and I have to respect that.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't give it the credit that it really deserves. I think it's way more of a horror game than any other quote-unquote horror game that's come out in the past couple years.
Yeah. I think that it has its merit for sure. I do hate the fact that you're defenseless. Like, you can't fight back against these fucking things. And that's something that does annoy me.
Well, I think that just adds to it, though. Like, I understand there's a certain amount of control that you want from a video game, but I feel that it serves it pretty well, because you're basically just stuck there like, oh, fuck, I gotta do all this, and, oh, he might be coming, oh, fuck.
And then Security Breach came out and fucked over everything.
Yeah, that was a shame, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Scott left production halfway through, and then it was taken over by another studio, and they just, like, rushed it out.
Yeah, but even, like, I don't know. I feel like even if they didn't rush it out, like, they were trying to fix the game post-launch, because the game was a broken, buggy fucking mess, right?
Right.
But I feel like even if they fixed it up technically, and even if they didn't rush it out, I feel like they just started off on the wrong foot entirely, because the whole game just doesn't feel scary whatsoever, and I don't think they could fix it with technical improvements.
Yeah. Well, some parts were interesting of that. Like, what was it? They had like that fucking clown chase thing down, like the giant clown heads like chasing you through the fucking. Yeah. I watched a compilation of like somebody putting together Mark's series on it, like all the bugs he ran into in that game, and him just losing his patience with it.
That can be the scary part in and of itself. The bugs.
Oh,
the bugs. The bugs.
The bugs. Not the bugs.
So the video that we're releasing today, at least the first one, I think I'm gonna release 2 today. Is Nikki seeing the new variation of Diglett for Pokemon?
Yeah, I was there for that one live. The albino Diglett.
But it's not even albino. Like, they made it way long and just like too flesh colored, and it just comes out of the ground like wiggling around. Yeah. Have you seen it in Anomaly?
Yes, I have.
The albino Diglett on Viagra.
Fucking beautiful.
It looks like fucking Voldemort's dick. It's just really like this fucking pale schlong coming out of the ground.
Expect my big bonum.
He lives.
It's alive. It's horny.
Like, they know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, after so many Pokemon designs, what else are you going to do? It's like, let's just make Diglett an actual dick. Fuck it.
They already have one that looks like a schlong. There's many phallus-type Pokemon. That should be their own type.
And you're forgetting, Muck is come backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, what are the moves? Harden. Splash. Stinger shot.
Yeah, those
Jizz missile.
cheeky bastards know what they're
Jizz
doing.
That shit's fucking hilarious. But yeah, dude, that reveal was definitely one for the ages. Like, and they even made like a specific trailer for that. Like, who was sitting back waiting? Like, man, they're gonna have a fucking variation of Diglett. This is the one I've been waiting for. Fucking nobody. Nobody.
Should have called him Diglett.
Diglett was perfect.
Have you seen like the statue that's made out of Dugtrio? And it's like they're all just like these ripped men hugging under the ground.
Oh yeah. Classic.
That shit's fucking funny.
I've also seen the variation of Diglett where it's just that same muscular fucking dude, and then it's just his dick poking out of the ground.
Yeah. They're doing it to us.
I've been playing Power Wash Simulator lately, and after doing the missions there, I understand why people play that game now.
I know, right?
Weirdly
it's
enough.
so relaxing.
I played around on it, and I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. You should have Nikki stream it.
Nikki stream Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah. Or House Flipper, that's another good one.
A gleam of sunlight comes underneath the garage door, and she goes, "Ah!"
Watch
Garage
her
door
get
clean.
really fucking mad for 1 hour because she can't find one speck of dust.
Oh my
Yes.
god, dude! I ran into that in one of the fucking jobs. Like,
It happens.
where the fuck is that last spot? Because you swear you clean everything on there, but there's like one or two things you have to still fucking clean. Like, what?
It's never clean enough.
I find a weird change in my taste in video games where like I really enjoy just games that I can just pick up for like an hour and just lazily do something and just listen to a podcast or some shit.
Well,
It's
speaking of
so
that,
nice.
I may anger a few people by saying I am not the biggest fan of Half-Life 2. I tried playing it like all the way through. I got like to the last part of the game and I was just fucking bored by that point. So it's like, fuck it, I ain't beating this. Because I did like 3 streams on it, like both of them like 3.5 hours long to like complete the game. It's like a 10-hour game, I think. So it's like
Something like that.
I played around with it. The first half of it was good, you know, like I liked the whole idea of them doing the whole science thing with like the gravity gun and whatnot, and using physics-based puzzles. But after a while, it just gets like you go 50 yards someplace, and then you get to a place people who's like, "Holy shit, it's Gordon Freeman! Let's suck his dick while he's here." It's just like that's all you hear. It's like you hear nothing but appraisals from these people. Nobody hates you except for the main guy. And then you go another place, and then you have like a janky ass vehicle. The only interesting part during the latter half was when you took a pheromone gland from an antlion queen, and you like threw that down, and you controlled like a group of antlions, and you could use those to kill the guys. But other than that, it just felt like repetition after a while. Like, how long are we gonna have to fuck around before we reach a conclusion? Same thing with Fear 2 as well. Like, first half was good, the latter half just sort of dragged on a little bit.
Yeah. Never mind the ending. Ooh.
Yeah.
I've gotten that way about like horror games in general. Just like I'm tired of being frustrated, I'm tired of being mad, and I'm tired of being jump scared. Like, you know, the only thing that's horrible about it is the fact that I will get stuck on a goddamn puzzle. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be doing if I was in like a haunted house or there were some vampires or some zombies chasing around me, look, bro, I'm jumping out a fucking window. I'm that shelf that I gotta find these tiles to move is not gonna stop me. I'm gonna fucking knock that shelf over, you know, or something. Like, I'm tired of getting frustrated with those fucking games. And also,
no, dude, the worst is when like you're stuck in a particular puzzle and you think there's some other kind of solution to it, and then there's like an easier way to do it, and you feel like a fucking idiot afterwards. Like, god damn it.
or there's bosses.
I've had that so many fucking times.
There's bosses on horror games that you have to do specific shit to beat them, and you've got to die 50 million fucking times to get past them. And I can't. That's the reason why I don't play Demon Souls. That's the reason why I don't play those games that are just like brutal and just beat your ass for fucking 20 hours, and then you finally get past the level. Like, I'm not cut out for that shit, bro. I'm not trying to do a.
Out of the three of us, Nino's the only one that's actually good at those games.
And I'm glad they exist for people like Monopolis. That's fucking wonderful, you know. I even get frustrated with Breath of the Wild, dude. Like, that game pisses me off, too. I'll be like, okay, so I got 3 hearts, and I can only run for 2 seconds. So you tell me I got to go through 50 fucking puzzle levels with bosses in them so I can get a couple of hearts and some stamina so I can walk. Mm-hmm. Oh, and if I go over here, lightning's going to strike me. And if I go over here, it's just like, dude, this game does nothing but fucking shove its foot up my ass. Like, come on.
Yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. I think some games could do with being a little bit more, like Souls games have there should be an easy mode argument, and there's a lot of people will immediately jump on it like, no, they fucking shouldn't. This is the way that the game is designed. This is the way it's supposed to be. There's a truth to it, abso-fucking-lutely, because that's the way they designed it. That's the way the designers want it to be. That's the way you should experience it.
Yeah, sure.
But if there's no harm in including a fucking little easy mode, there's no harm in any of this.
Yeah.
It's like
Devil May Cry did it.
Yeah, but also, some people just can't accept. Also, like, I'm not saying you guys don't. Obviously, you do. But there's some people that can't accept that some games just aren't made for them.
Yeah.
A lot.
Right.
Oh, dude, and I've fucked around with them, and I've fucked around with them in the past to see. I've beaten a few of them, as you guys know, but I'm just...
Yeah. You try them, you just don't really
I got burned, and Resident Evil 4 is like one of the most acclaimed and whatever. You guys saw, I was stream that shit for like 8 hours at a time before, and like, I'm just to the point now where it's like, the thought of picking that game back up.
Well, I think part of your problem, Chad, was you were on the Wii. That was not a good choice to have.
That didn't help. Yeah. That didn't help. But all shit really intrigues me that much. And it's just my own thing, like I'm just not as compelled to like want to watch that shit, but certain people like it, and that's all them. So like the Halloween shit is going to be more on her, and we're going to be doing some fucking like cool shit for like baking and crafts and some different shit too. I was actually wanting to do the trick, what is it? Trick or Trade, the Pokemon card set that came out for Halloween, and like go around giving those to people and stuff. And then I was like, you can't just go around filming people out trick or treating. Some people might not be comfortable with that, and it's just not. So
some people might call the police.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out some kind of shit we can do that would be fun for Halloween, because our fucking Monday stream is going to be on Halloween. Oh. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to shoot those to us, because we're searching.
Trying to think of what would be good, because you already do the craft stuffs, right?
Yeah, we did a craft thing, which I have my little ghost still right here. The ghostess with the mostest.
Yeah. and you and Nikki have wildly different ways of going about it. You just splash shit on there. Nikki's just like very meticulous, like, I have to put this little part here, and then make sure this is all aligned. But you just fucking toss shit on there, like, done.
Yeah, I was happy with how mine came out, and I did it in like 20 minutes. She took the whole 2-hour stream to finish hers.
Yeah, I actually put a comment there like, so 5-hour stream?
Yeah, for real. But there's...
We'll just have different methods.
Yeah.
What was that, Monopolis?
Oh, no. Go ahead. I was fucking gonna bring it back to a previous topic.
Oh, yeah. There are certain, like, haunted houses in the area that we could go to, but Nikki has had the experience of, like, putting hands on somebody at the haunted house, so... we can't... Well, I mean, look... I think that if you work at one of those places, you should know that certain people are going to have reflexes that just go into action if they think they're about to be harmed. I mean, you can't really stop that from happening. I know motherfuckers that, You wake them up if they're sleeping, they're gonna swing on you.
Oh yeah.
You know, I know my dad. He's a war veteran and everything, so it's a whole different scenario for him. But you wake that motherfucker up on the wrong day, it won't be good.
Fred in the comments. Nikki is banned from all haunted houses.
After power bombing a zombie through a table.
I remember vividly as a kid, my little brother would always like hide around the corner, try and scare me, and every single time I had like a twitch reaction. One time I just slapped him really fucking hard in the face, and then he stopped doing it.
Wow.
I've never been to a haunted house before, but one thing that will always stay burned in my memory is when my sister was trying to take down Halloween lights, and it just rained outside, you know. So I was like, on there. So she tried to get the things down, but she ended up electrocuting herself. And the noise she made while I stay with me, she's like, oh, oh, oh! Like that shit will always stay in my memory. Just
bro,
how haunting that sound was.
I can relate to that. Go to the channel and look at the video of me getting tased. It's there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, dude, there was this thing in my area that like Baptist churches used to do. Instead of doing like a haunted house, they had a hell house, and it was all about like teens getting drunk and having sex and doing all this stuff and then dying and going to hell, and how you know they would go from like, it would be like a you walk from room to room, and so it would be like a play that was set up in different rooms. So you'd walk into the first one and they'd be like, oh, we're all having fun, we're drinking Heinekens and we're doing premarital sex. And then you'd walk into the next room and it would be like, Bobby drank too much beer, there he is on the floor, somebody save him, save Bobby, he's dying. Oh, Bobby, was he saved? Was he going to heaven? And then the next room is like, Bobby, I'm in hell. Ah! It's like,
dude, that was kind of like
that's
kind of like the game I was playing today. One Leaves I was telling you about. It was like this Saw kind of thing where it's like there's 4 people, you're one of the 4 people, and only one can leave. And as I said, it has to do with like the real cost anti-cigarettes campaign.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and at the end of it, you get to the doors like, sorry, bud, one of your friends got out before you. They like spend the rest of your life trapped here.
Smoking nothing but menthol cigarettes.
That's basically what it is, man. It's like, that's not even the worst part. Pretty soon you'll start changing.
Yeah, I just
the
thing about like indie horror games and shit like that is it just seems to be a vehicle for people to get their fucked up shit out of their head onto fucking games and shit, and it's just like, man, there's a reason this ain't a AAA title. Nobody wants to fucking see or be involved in this shit. All right.
Dude, you want to see shitty indie horror games? Watch John Wolfe. Just watch John Wolfe. He does a bunch of that stuff, and he rips right into it. Sarcasm.
But the truth of the situation is like, you know, Resident Evil works for a reason. Like, that franchise has come out with so many bangers. There have been shit games. Don't get me wrong. Yes. Operation Raccoon City, I'm looking at you. But like, you know, there have also been really good ones, and it's because it's like more of like a there's more of like an anime fantasy element to it, where it's not just like brutal and graphic for no reason. It's not just like gory shit for no reason. It's like, you know, crazy as fuck, and then you've got like these gigantic huge monsters and shit that are just like some kind of kaiju situation and things like that. It's just a lot more original and not just like demons and gore and fucked up shit. It's just like
What threw me off about Resident Evil 7 and onwards is that they started to make the characters look more realistic, you know, like Ethan and everybody else there. I liked the more anime-esque aesthetic, and I'm not even a big anime guy myself, but I liked the way it looked more in the original games than I did in 7. 7 was still good, but it's just like, it felt like they were trying to bank on too much of the realistic look for characters, and I've gotten so sick of that, man. Like,
I think that there's value to be seen in games that aren't ultra realistic. You know, I think that there's fun in there's more fun to me because it's about an escape, right? It's about
Yeah.
getting out of like reality, and nobody, well, I mean, there's people that do, but especially people like me who are very turned off by gore, very not wanting to be involved in that kind of shit.
I don't mind it, but it's just like it's in unusual spots that get me. Like, say if it's like the webbing of your fingers or like your eyeballs or something,
Yeah.
that shit gets me. But if it's like regular like cutting off limbs or whatnot, it's like quick, it's like over and done with. But if it's
Yeah,
like prolonged, unusual shit, then I'm just like, yeah.
I just don't. I'm not down for any of it really. When it comes down to it, I like for my enemies to get shot, they hit the ground, and then they fucking phase out and disappear, Metal Gear style. Just like that's as far
like
as I
a
want to
Quentin
go
Tarantino
with
film,
it.
just blast their heads off and just everything blows up.
Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of that kind of stuff. And I get that that's like video games are going to get more super real. They're going to get more visually just unbelievable and stuff. And I wonder, like, to a certain degree, when you get past that uncanny valley, I mean, that stuff's going to end up really fucking people up.
Yeah.
Mentally,
And then there's the whole VR thing as well.
Yeah. But that's why I think, like, yeah, people were talking about Terraria and like, stuff like fucking Minecraft, and there are games out there that just are. Or what was the one that you played a lot? Monopolis, something Valley, Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, yeah.
Shit like that is super popular.
Yeah.
And again, like you were talking about, you can just pick it up, play it for a while. You don't have to super invest into it.
Yeah.
That's kind of more my lane, dude. That's kind of the stuff that I seem to be over and over again finding myself when I'm like, what do I want to play? I'm getting into these simpler games that are just relaxing and don't fucking piss me off and stress me out. I don't know, man. But it does seem like that there's this huge swing of like, there's like the hardcore has to be fucking super complicated and super technical and whatever, and then there's like this kind of simple games, but in between there's not much. It's like either super complicated or super simple.
Yeah.
Going back to indie horrors a bit, the stream I did yesterday, I was doing like Resident Evil clones, and one of them was called Operation Zombie Island. It was like all in this Spanish language. I couldn't read anything, but the part that broke me, I played it for like 40 minutes. The part that broke me was when I was shooting at the enemy. Like the first zombie you actually shoot in there, like 40 minutes in. It's just like that part just ended up fucking breaking me. And I was laying on my bed, I grabbed one of my pillows, and I just started laughing like a fucking madman. Just, I could not deal with that game anymore. Like, I'll try to link that in the chat here so people can check that out. It's like the second one I did.
It's probably hard in games to like make them to where the shooting mechanics work well and like the bullets fly the way that they should and things like that. I mean, what do you think, Monopolis? Is that actually a difficult thing?
Generally, like, if you want a basic aim for the guy, click the button and shoot the bullet, it's not that hard. I can whip something like that up in like 10 minutes. But actually making that feel satisfying and feel good to play and good to handle and all the animations make sense, and it gets a little bit more complicated. It really depends on what kind of game you're making as well. Like the more realistic shit, like your sniper elites, I don't want to say Call of Duty is realistic anymore, but in terms of like physics of the guns and the bullets,
right?
It's a lot more like, oh, they introduce travel time and gravity of the bullet and resist. That gets a lot more complicated. But when you're just like pew hit guy, enemy dead, that's easy as shit,
right?
Realistically.
Yeah. So like the arcade style shit, not so hard.
Yeah, no. It's there's a lot of people actually that forget they because you can't really just shoot the guy like and the bullet immediately hits. That's not really realistic in any sense. That's not really fun.
Right.
It feels kind of weird. So you have to introduce some level of like, okay, the bullet travels and obviously misses and blah blah blah.
Right.
But yeah, it's if you know that, then it's fucking 10 minutes.
Well, the thing, I think, were you talking about the Resident Evil 2 remake? Because I was gonna say they did a thing like where they don't exactly go down exactly after one shot to the head. Just like takes a couple shots to it. Same thing with the Evil Within as well. It's like takes a couple shots to that, unless you upgrade your weapons, and those are two entirely different games.
That's a few extra lines of code realistically, but it's something that not a whole lot of people really think of or have the time sometimes to put in, because that's like an extra little detail, like the head. It seems obvious, like headshot, fucking more damage, or like you said, it takes a couple extra shots to get him down. It seems obvious that you would do that immediately, but a lot of people gloss over that just because, okay, basic thing done, let's move on, and then polish it up later.
Dude, Halo used to piss me off so bad for that, because I'd be like, I have shot this motherfucker with a machine gun like 20 times. Go down. It's just like, no.
No. What you said there, Monopolis, that actually reminded me of something I saw recently with like Microsoft trying to buy something with Japan or something. And they're like trying to buy Japan to like have some sort of merger. And like one of the developers, like one of the Japanese developers said like the reason it wouldn't really work too well is because the way Japanese people make their games and the way American people make their games are vastly different. Like Japanese people spend like years and years on end trying to perfect it, while Americans, they have like a half finished thing and then they just sort of like patch it later to like try to get rid of some of the backlash. But like I feel like if we prioritized functionality more over than just like the look of it, then I think it possibly could have worked. But as it stands right now,
the graphics heavy shit has gotten a little out of control. For sure.
But I feel like you said, there's going to be a point where, we cross the uncanny valley and it gets so realistic you can't really distinguish it anymore. I think at that point, when we get there roundabouts, I think you're going to start to see a change in how graphics are approached in video games, because you can't really sell yourself on progressing graphics anymore. What are you going to do? You have to actually make something interesting. So then they start fucking with different art styles and doing all this weird shit. So
once there's a ceiling or a block somewhere, you got to go elsewhere. So things will progress in a different way. It always goes that way, you know. So be looking forward to that. We are approaching an hour now, gentlemen.
Oh, that was quick.
Final thoughts? Anybody have anything they want to talk about?
Well, Nuvastroya said in the chat, like, I introduced to you EA. Please don't.
They were great at one point in time. They were very good.
But then they sucked.
That's my final thoughts. Fuck EA, fuck Konami.
Yeah. And my final thought is
Konami.
Everybody love everybody. Jackie Moon.
Hell yeah.
Have you guys seen that? The Tropics, the Will Ferrell movie, Semi-Pro?
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Everybody love everybody, goddammit.
They're fighting on the bus, and he's like, everybody love everybody. Shit's great. Well, I appreciate you guys. Love you dudes. This shit has been super fun. Always enjoy getting the chance to hang out and talk to you. Hopefully be able to talk to you some more on Thursday. Be doing some cool shit there. Appreciate everybody in the chat, obviously. Nuvastroya, Fred. Appreciate y'all hanging out. But yeah, I think that's